Hello everyone, Mr. Price here with the continuation of our read aloud. We last left off with Byron kind of abusing that honor system that Mr. Mitchell had set up at the grocery store, and he was getting some food without his parents' permission, some Swedish cream cookies, and we saw some insight into Byron's personality where he would, pick on kids all day long, but he accidentally killed that bird with the Swedish cream and got all choked up about it and even buried it. That's a pretty interesting side of Byron's personality to see compared to what we've seen from him already. That has us continuing with Chapter 7 on our own. So here we are with Chapter 7. Every Chihuahua in America lines up to take a bite out of Byron. I was sitting at the kitchen table doing homework and watching Mama make dinner when Byron came in through the back door. He was surprised we were there because as soon as he saw us, he turned around and tried to walk right back out. Both me and Mama smelled a rat. "Byron," Mama said, "what have I told you about wearing that hat in the house?" "Oh, yeah, I was just going right back." He pushed the screen door open again. "Wait a minute." Byron was trapped in the doorway with his right foot in and his left foot out. "Come here." Mama put down the knife she'd been peeling potatoes with and wiped her hands on a dish towel. Byron's inside foot joined his outside one in trying to get away. I'll be back in a minute. They're waiting for me down at the..." "Byron Watson, you take off that hat and get over here right this minute." It was the here instead of here. Uh-oh. Byron started walking toward Mama in slow motion, sliding his feet on the linoleum. He pulled off his hat and stood there looking down, like his shoes were all of a sudden real interesting. Byron's head was covered with a blue and white handkerchief. Mama sucked in a ton of air. "What have you done?" We all knew, though. She took a step back and leaned against the counter like if it wasn't there she'd have fallen down. "Oh my God, your father will kill you." "You don't have no cause to." "You've gone and done it, haven't you?" Byron kept his head down. "Haven't you?" Mama yelled. "Yes," Byron yelled back. Mama reached out and snatched the handkerchief off By's head. Me and Mama both went, "Oh!" Byron had gotten a conk, a press, a do, a butter, a ton of trouble. His hair was reddish brown, straight, stiff, and slick looking. Parts of it stuck straight up like porcupine stickers because Mama hadn't been too gentle when she snatched the handkerchief off. He smoothed his hair back in place. "Well," Mama said, "that's it. You are now at your daddy's mercy. You've known all along how we feel about putting those chemicals in your hair to straighten it, but you decided you're a grown man and went and did it anyway." Mama was real hot, but she surprised me. She just shook her head and went back to peeling potatoes. Byron stood there looking at his feet, and I kept pretending I was doing homework. Finally, Mama slammed the knife down and turned around to look at By again. Byron stood perfectly still while Mama walked around him a couple of times, taking a better look at his hair. This looked like the Indians circling the wagon again, but this time it was Byron who had to be the white people. Finally, Mama stopped and said, "But before your father gets to you, let me ask you something. What do you think? What do you think now that you've gone and done it? Does it make you look any better? Is this straight?" Mama flicked some more of Byron's hair back up porcupine style. "Is this straight mess more attractive than your own hair? Did these chemicals give you better looking hair than me and your daddy and God gave you?" It was strange. A little laugh was starting to creep into Mama's voice. "Huh? What do you think?" "Well, bozo," she said, flicking a piece of By's hair out over his left ear and then another piece out over his right one. "Maybe you were planning on joining the circus, 'cause you sure do look like an honest-to-God clown now." Mama was right. With big clumps of his hair sticking out to the side over his ears like that, he really did look like Bozo the Clown. I broke out laughing, but Byron shot me a real dirty look and I stopped and looked back down at my math book. I hated it when things like that happened and my head automatically went down by itself. "Why on earth would you do this, Byron?" "I wanted different style hair. I didn't see nothing wrong with it." When he saw Mama just looking sad and me looking like I wanted to crack up again, Byron got mad and said, "I think it's cool." "Well, Daddy Cool, you enjoy your hair while you can, 'cause I'm sure when your daddy gets through with you, you won't be enjoying too much of anything, and cool is one thing you won't be feeling. You just slide your cool self right on up those stairs to your bedroom and wait for him, Daddy-O." Byron clomped up the stairs. I told Joey about what happened as soon as our next-door neighbor, Mrs. Davidson, brought her home from Sunday school. Me and Joey went up to see Byron. Byron was on the top bunk with his feet dangling over the side and his hands covering his face. I love times like this when Byron was about to really get it and couldn't pay me back for teasing him. I started in on him as soon as me and Joey got into the room. "Death row prisoner number 541, you have a visitor. Please make this a short visit, ma'am. The priest will be here any minute to give the prisoner his last meal and his last cigarette." "Oops, I forgot, no cigarettes for you, 541. You've been banned from ever looking at matches again, remember?" Byron was feeling very sad. He didn't say anything to me. He didn't even give me a dirty look. That made me a lot braver. When she saw his hair, Joetta's eyes got real big and her voice got all choky. "Byron Watson, what were you thinking about? Look at your head. Daddy's gonna kill you. Come down from there. Let's go to the bathroom and wash that stuff out of your hair before Daddy gets here." Byron raised his slick down head from his hands and said, "Go away, Joey." "Come on, Byron. We gotta wash your hair till that junk comes out. Hurry." Joetta pulled on Byron's dangling legs. "Stop, Joey," he finally said. "This don't wash out. It's gotta grow out." "You mean you gotta keep it like that till it comes back to normal?" "Yeah," Byron said, kinda smiling. "They can't do nothing to it till it grows back." "Oh no, Daddy's gonna tear you up." I said, "That's right, ma'am. 541 is just waiting for the executioner to get home. Would you like to stick around and write down his last words?" Joey turned and snapped, "Why is this so funny to you, Kenny?" Her eyes looked real mean. "Who knows what Daddy's gonna do to him?" Byron's hands came back up to cover his face. I said to Joey, "Why are you yelling at me? It wasn't me who went and got a butter, and no one forced him to do it either. It makes me sick the way she's always protecting Byron." She turned back to him. "Who did this to you, By?" She didn't have to ask. There was only one other 14-year-old in the neighborhood who had a conch. I answered for him. "It was Buphead." "Why'd you let him, By?" "I told you to go away, Joey." "No, Byron. Why'd you let him do this?" "'Cause I wanted to. That's why." "But didn't you know Mommy and Daddy would find out?" "Shoot, you think I care what them squares say?" And I said, "And there you have it, ma'am. The reason 541 must die. He won't confess his guilt." Byron looked at me for the first time, and I started easing toward the door. He said, "You think I don't know what you're doing, punk? You think I don't know you're loving all this mess?" But I'd been expecting this. This is just like that show I seen about the wolves. They said the top dog wolf is always getting challenged by jive little wolves. They said that the top dog wolf can't show no weakness at all. That if he gets hurt or something, if he steps on a broke bottle and starts limping or something, all the little jive wolves in the pack start trying to overthrow him. That's what's happening right now. You think I'm hurt and you and every other punk chihuahua in America's climbing out of the woodwork to try and get a bite out of me. Let me tell you something. When... We all heard the squeal of a car's brakes outside. Joey and I ran over to the bedroom window and looked out to the street. The brown bomber had just parked in front of the house. Joey started blubbering. Byron's legs dangled faster and faster. Dad got out of the brown bomber. I pretended I was holding a bugle and started playing that "Day is Done" song they play at funerals. "Byron, why won't you behave? Why won't you think about what's going to happen to you when you do something wrong? Why do you always do stuff to get people mad at you?" Joey asked. "Why don't you make a break for it, 541? I asked. We listened to the noises of Dad coming home from work, the clump of his boots coming off and being dropped in the closet by the front door, the whoosh his chair made when he sat in it, Dad saying, "Whew, sure is good to be home," the second whoosh of the chair when Mama sat in his lap, the sounds of kisses and giggles and laughs, then the words we'd waited for from Dad. "So what's new on the home front, Mrs. Watson?" "Oh, not much. There's a surprise for you that one of your little darlings has for you, though." "Good or bad?" Well, I guess that depends on your point of view. Let me guess which one of the Crumb Crushers is going to surprise Big Daddy today. Your first one. Oh, Lord. What'd he do? How serious this time? It can't be too bad. You seem pretty calm. Let's just say I'm numb. That bad? It depends. If you were happy with your son the way he was, this might be pretty bad. However, if you always wanted a child from south of the border, you might be happy with this new young Mr. Watson. Okay, what's up? Let me put it this way. Do you remember the line Big Daddy used to give every girl at Central High School? Can't say I do. Goes like this. I can show you better than I can tell you. Ring any bells? Oh yeah, that does seem kind of familiar. Well, now's as good a time as any. Show me. All right, you asked for it. Byron, dear, could you please come down here for a minute? Mama didn't even raise her voice. She knew we'd been listening to everything they were saying. Byron took a deep breath, then jumped off the top bunk and started down the stairs. I followed right behind him, pretending I was a reporter. I shoved an imaginary microphone in his face. Any famous last words, 541? Anything to say to all the little chihuahuas before they start coming out of the woodwork? Do you think the governor might call before they pull the switch? Are you going to come clean and tell what led you down the road to crime? I figured he didn't have anything to lose, so when we got about halfway down the steps, he popped me square in the ear, hard. Getting hit when you're not expecting it can really shake you up. My legs started wobbling like my knees were made out of jello, my eyes started leaking water, my nose started running. I tried to go tell on by, but all I could do was sit on the next to last step and hold my ear as tears jumped out of my eyes. My throat wouldn't quit jerking up and down and making weird noises. Joey sat on the step next to me with tears jumping out of her eyes too. And that's where we're going to go ahead and stop for the day, guys, with Byron approaching his parents to see what his punishment's going to be for disobeying them and getting that hairdo. Remember to complete your exit ticket and have yourselves a wonderful day. I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.